Ever since the hearables first started coming out, it had dawned on me that there's an opportunity between, hearing aids and hearables to sort of blur the line between the two. And I know when I've written about it a time or two, I've heard from a lot of folks with hearing disabilities who are very excited about the prospects of finally putting something in their ears and not looking like they have a condition, like they're just one of the cool kids walking down the street listening to music. And so I'm sure that's not lost on you and why you're partnering and working with Bragi, yes?
Absolutely. And, for between Starkey and Bragi, it's more about the technology that can be delivered in an ear-worn device, which, the consumers that we're both kind of dealing with are interested in. And, we like to say at Starkey that we don't sell hearing aids, we sell better hearing. And our core customer are typically those that have a hearing loss and need amplification to achieve better hearing, whereas Bragi's core customers at this point are consumers who are interested in better streaming wireless audio, and for them that means better hearing. But if you look at the technology convergence and the ability to apply the hearable type functionality to the hearing aid and vice versa, the hearing aid functionality to the hearable, you can see that in the future, we think that most people will have something in and on their ears. And certainly, one of the challenges we face is people, consumers who need our technology but haven't yet gotten into the process of getting it, have an outdated perception of what hearing aids actually look like. So if you walk down the street and ask most people to describe a hearing aid, they would describe hearing aids from 20 years ago, not hearing aids of today. So we have invisible hearing aids, we have highly designed and stylized hearing aids, we have hearing aids that are connecting to smartphones and other accessories via Bluetooth. So I think it's more about an awareness thing on our side that the perception of what hearing technology is outdated, and the advent of the hearable and people wearing cool tech in their ears certainly benefits the hearing aid side of the business, because if everybody's wearing something in their ears at some point in the future, it doesn't matter if it's a hearable or a hearing aid, it's who cares, you're getting better hearing in whichever manner is most appropriate to you.
So what you're doing with the customized version or customizable version of Bragi is you'll be actually fitting folks so that they can be more active and not have to worry about the hearables falling out. Is that primarily what you'll be doing?
Well, it's both security and comfort. So certainly, Bragi's done a great job of making a product that fits comfortably and securely for most people, but it's not made for a specific person. And many people find that having the custom version, or what we call Dash, tailored by Starkey, is kind of the next level in comfort and security. So having a personalized application that fits exactly right into your ear not only provides the ultimate in comfort, but also for people who are runners and swimmers and bikers and more of the strenuous exercise and activity people, the ultimate in security, because they just won't fall out once they're tailored by Starkey.
Maybe not for boxers quite yet, or mixed martial arts.
No, not yet.
All right. So this will be a great opportunity for you. You'll have, along with the hearing solutions you're selling now, Bragi kind of side by side. It'll be a great way to get your feet wet and start to understand how the market's thinking about these two things, yes?
Absolutely. And, in addition to that, we see a tremendous opportunity to educate people about what we do and where to get what we do, right? So if we think about consumers and their journey to getting better hearing through amplification, most people don't know where to go to get hearing aids, right? They generally start with their doctor, and doctors don't sell hearing aids, and doctors aren't always up to speed on hearing and hearing aids either, so they don't know where to tell consumers to go to get hearing aids. And so we feel like if we can create a connection between younger consumers and our customers via the Dash Tailored by Starkey, they'll know within their communities where to go to get better hearing via amplification. And so if their mom or dad or aunt or uncle needs help with hearing, then they'll already know the best place to go, because that's where they'll go to get their Dash Tailored by Starkey. So it'll be, in addition to really awesome new technology that has the ability to have, kind of the ultimate personalization and comfort from a customized fitting. They'll also have exposure to, where to go to get the best hearing aid technology for either themselves or their family members.
Yeah, and if most of us, I do, have that 20-year-old outmoded idea of what a hearing aid looks like, then that can only help things, yes?
Absolutely. And we've gone so far as to, actually set up a camera in downtown Minneapolis and stop people on the street and ask them to describe a hearing aid. And it's absolutely true that they will say, oh, it's big, it's beige, it's cumbersome, and it whistles. And none of those things are true anymore in today's hearing aid technology. So it'll help us not only get people exposed to a new technology in this new category of hearables, and Starkey's participation in that, but also educate them about what is new and what is next in hearing aid technology, which is something that they really don't know exists.
Right. So today the product lines, Bragi and Starkey, are pretty clearly bifurcated. Yeah. I've seen some, hearables out there that are starting to use positional audio to start to claim both. They can do both. I don't think we're there yet. I'd be curious as to your impression and when you think you might really be able to buy a two-in-one, so to speak.
Sure. I don't think it's in the short term. I think the companies that you'll see talking about that are, seeing a market opportunity potentially, but there's very little understanding about how, hearing loss actually works. The fact that, hearing loss is a medical condition. It's not a consumer electronics opportunity. The treatment of hearing loss is very, very different from person to person. It's not at all like, if you are needing reading glasses as an example, or just glasses in general. If you go and get an eye test, you can get your prescription, get the product or glasses that meet that prescription, and you'll see clearly right away. In the hearing space, it is not like that at all, as far as the prescription based on testing can be radically different from one person to the next. So if you and I had the exact same hearing loss configuration, so at the same frequencies and the same decibel of hearing loss, we prefer to hear sound much, much differently than each other. And so you have to accommodate for the fact that people's listening preferences are very, very different. If you remember, when we had home stereos that had the equalizers, and you could adjust the low frequencies and the mid frequencies and the high frequencies, you would get a new stereo, invite your friends over to hear, how awesome it sounded, and inevitably somebody would say, well, that doesn't sound so good. There's way too much treble in there, or there's way too much bass in there. Well, you both have normal hearing, and you like it the way that you said it, and the other person can't stand it. And that's kind of how you need to think about hearing and hearing loss. It's much more tied into how we prefer and perceive sound, and then how we like to have it adjusted based on our hearing loss than it is this prescription equals this amount of amplification. It's much more complex than that. So I see it as kind of a and a way to create an awareness for the benefits of amplification. So for products like Bragi and some of the others that have a small amount of amplification that can allow consumers who are experiencing hearing loss see the benefit of increase in volume, and increase in volume being only one small component of how you need to adjust hearing aids for optimal performance. But if people can realize that, hey, I do benefit from having it louder. I didn't think I had a hearing loss. I don't know where to go to ask more questions or get more testing. I think it can create an awareness of not only the potential benefit, but because of the partnership with Bragi and Starkey Hearing Technologies, Starkey Hearing Technologies can be their next avenue of education, if you will. So if they're seeing benefit, they can talk about, you know, full-time technology. They can look at technologies like our Halo 2 product, which is, you know, a premier level of technology in the hearing aid category, but also has the ability through iOS devices to stream iTunes and phone calls and FaceTime, so that anything delivered via audio from an iPhone can be directly streamed wirelessly to the Halo 2 hearing aid. So it's kind of a combination of some of the features that exist in hearables already does exist in hearing aids.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. And that was an interesting analogy or illustration, you know, with the graphic equalizer. And that certainly the first button on an equalizer is volume, right? I'm wondering, as you know, we get further down the road, do you think you'll be able to take some of that customization that you need to do it in the store and maybe move it either onto your phone and or the hearables themselves?
Certainly, and we allow for some of that kind of personalization, if you will, today. So with the app that we deliver with our Halo 2 products, as an example, the consumer has the ability to, we call it sound space. So the consumer can move their finger around the screen and find the sweet spot, if you will. So it'll change the volume and the amplification levels. It'll change the treble and bass levels, and it'll allow for control of, you know, things like background noise. And so if you wanted to go to a Starbucks, as an example, it's very loud, there's beans grinding, and the baristas are doing their thing, and there's lots of other customers. It's a very demanding listening situation. So the consumer can use the app to personalize the sound for that particular setting, and then geotag that location so that that same setting comes up every time they pull into the Starbucks parking lot, so that the hearing aid automatically sets itself for demanding listening situations. Now, on the other side of that, there are certainly many, many people that have normal hearing, you know, what we would consider to be normal hearing, who also struggle in areas of background noise. The same Starbucks is difficult to hear in, even for people that have normal hearing. And so some of the future possibilities for products like the Bragi Dash are that you could add hearing enhancement features for people with normal hearing and help them hear more effectively in difficult listening situations like coffee shops and restaurants and so forth.
And I'd really like to thank Chris for taking the time to visit with us. It's clear that the Dash Pro, tailored by Starkey, is taking a big step toward blurring the lines between these two categories. And thank you for your time also. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.